Children have underdeveloped brains. This is a scientific fact that we have known for a very long time. Because of this, we know they lack the ability to consent to permanent decisions, which is why we as adults do what we can to safeguard and protect them. According to this guy, safeguarding and protecting children is fascism. And what is happening to children is okay because parents and doctors are there every step of the way. I think it's pretty naive to believe that doctors, especially in the US, are not exploiting children and their families for money.
How much money we think each patient would bring in, and this is only including top surgery, this isn't including any bottom surgery, and it's a lot of money. These surgeries make a lot of money. So female to male chest reconstruction can bring in $40,000. A patient just on routine hormone treatment, who I'm only seeing a few times a year, can bring in several $1,000s. So that requires a lot of visits and labs. It actually makes money for the hospital.
I also think it's naive to believe that they have sound data surrounding this, because they don't. There are no long-term studies on the effects of gender-affirming care on minors, because all of this is so new. But what we do know is there are detransitioners coming forward who have transitioned as minors. And there's a significant amount of them too, considering there's only a small amount of minors who transition to begin with. The number of people who detransition is actually unknown, because so many detransitioners don't report back to the clinic that they have detransitioned.
I just wanted to let you guys know that detransitioners do not go back to the gender clinics which harmed them and report that they're detransitioning. My paperwork, as far as the numbers go, still says that I'm happy and trans. So when you guys are like, only 1% of people detransition or 2%, you don't know that. You're making that up. And the numbers you have about how many happy trans people there are, that's wrong too. Because again, my paperwork says I'm happy and trans. I did not go back to the gender clinic which harmed me. And when I tried to ask for my records, they ghosted me.
So there is a lot of inaccurate and inconclusive data out there. Anyway, I had made a claim that lawsuits were happening from young adults who transitioned as minors. And this guy is asking me to prove it.
Kira was just 15 when she felt something wasn't right. Not knowing where to turn, she went to a gender identity clinic and started treatment, including surgery, to become Quincy. 8 years on, she wants to transition back to being a woman and is suing the NHS.
It's such a serious process to go down, and it's so experimental because, doctors don't even know, the outcomes of a lot of these treatments that are given out. I should have been, told to wait and not affirmed in my gender identity I was claiming to have. And just given intensive therapy basically to investigate the feelings that I was having to try and, figure out how I got to that stage.
Chloe Cole charges that doctors said her gender confusion would not resolve unless she underwent medical treatment and surgery. And she adds they warned her and her parents of the risk of suicide.
It was a decision that I was allowed to make at 15. And when they told me that I wasn't going to be able to breastfeed, at the time, it didn't really mean much to me because I was just a kid. I was just in high school.
18-year-old Cole is now taking on Kaiser Permanente, the country's largest medical group, with more than 23,000 physicians, 39 hospitals, and over 200,000 employees. She alleges that Permanente doctors began giving her off-label puberty blockers 5 years ago, plus weekly doses of testosterone, and finally, a double mastectomy. Her pre-lawsuit demand letter alleges that doctors failed to explain the serious risks to her and her parents, that they concealed that most gender confusion resolves with age, and that inadequately studied treatments amounted to medical experimentation.
They were selling a product, and they sold it not just to Chloe, but to many other girls.
Sadly, I believe we will be seeing a lot more of this in the future. So I think it would be a good time to get on the right side of history.